Okay, I think we're on. All right. I know
Another
how to
solid
trust me.
intro.
I know how to do it. Watch this. All right. I guess this is the worst one yet. Wow. We're reviewing the Elite Eight, which happened over the last 2 days. I don't even know what's in my pocket right now. What the hell is going on? So I guess it was Monday that the games started, and I think honestly, every single one of these games went how we thought they would. Now, other than the fact that I guess you picked Michigan, I didn't. The whole thing went for me. But anyway, Gonzaga killing USC. I guess we didn't see. Although I think we thought that would be a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But I think they told us that nobody's touching them, and they might beat UCLA by 50. But
Yeah. Yeah. That game was unreal. USC was real sloppy with the ball early. I just looked up their turnover. They only had 9 turnovers, which they had to have all those in like the first 10 minutes of the game.
they had like 6 really
Yeah.
early.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was quite a showing from Gonzaga. Yeah, and the USC game is going to be ugly, I think, or UCLA
But
game's going
hey,
to be
Gonzaga can't hold their own in the Big Ten, though, right? So you just have to
ugly.
calm
Yeah,
down about Gonzaga. But
right.
let's start with the first game, which is Oregon. I don't even know what I pressed a button and I heard something. Okay.
You repeating yourself?
So let's start with the first game, Oregon State Houston, which I had 68-60. It finished 67-61. I think this went how we expected, and the only reason that Houston won was probably because of their offensive rebounding.
Yeah, they were pretty solid on offensive boards. I mean this game, you thought that it was just going to be over, and then Oregon State made a run, and it was surprising that it was even close. To be honest with you,
That's kind of how double-digit seeds in the Elite Eight works. Like they are overmatched typically when it comes down to it, but then they eventually make a run, make it look like they might be able to come back, and then they lose. That's kind of how it's gone in the past. Um, but I need to make a tweet right now.
sorry, morning time. My
For
dogs are
this.
gonna be stupid.
I'm gonna make a tweet here to try to get people to join us.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and talk about Oregon State.
Yeah, we talked about players and stuff. Ethan Thompson wasn't great this game.
Told you they had
Um,
someone who could take them away.
yeah, yeah. And Houston looked good up until kind of towards the end, when they kind of let Oregon State get back in it. But it never seemed like it was like Houston was out of the game. You know what I mean? Like that they were going to lose this game. I know it got close there for a little bit, but Oregon State was just a little too sloppy.
I mean, I think people aren't giving Houston a fair shot against Baylor. Like they have a chance, but
I agree.
they have a good defense. But here's the difference. I think what I texted you a couple days ago is Baylor can rebound much better than anybody Houston's played for probably the entire season.
Yeah.
And Houston's been a weird team. Like they lost to East Carolina. I mean, I don't really know how that happened. And they would have probably they I guess they beat Memphis, but they almost lost that game. They had that half court buzzer beater to win it. But I mean, Houston's really good. I don't think people are giving them a fair shot against Baylor because I think they have it. But I
I
do like
agree.
Baylor in that game. But let's go down to Baylor, Arkansas, which started out like Baylor was going to beat them by 50. And, Moses Moody was not good. And I remember saying this on the show on Monday that if Moses Moody is taken away by somebody or isn't playing well, Arkansas doesn't have much of a chance. They kept it closer than it looked like they were going to. What was it, a 9-point game? I had it at 7.
Yeah.
I mean, they covered the spread.
Yeah.
Baylor was an 8-point favorite.
Yeah, this was another game where you thought the game was over, and then Arkansas made a run back, and Baylor just they just kind of take over, and Arkansas didn't have an answer for Maceo Teague down the stretch. Hitch and all, that ball goes down. So
That's a shot.
it's not pretty, but yeah, Moses Moody, it seemed like at points he was trying to take the game over, which I think hurt Arkansas in the end. But for the way these two games started, I really thought that, they were going to be blowouts. They weren't going to be fun to watch. And they ended up, actually being pretty good games. So,
I mean, I just think that the better teams won, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
And Note fouling out with 14 minutes left is questionable officiating and questionable coaching.
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't realize that he got that foul down low, and left him in. But I mean, to come down and get a charge on him just kind of killed Arkansas. So.
You think officials have been more like wanting to call charges in the last?
I feel like
week?
that's all they call.
Yeah.
It's unreal, I don't get it.
And there's also been some bad ones too, like the what game was that? Was that the? I think it was an Oregon State game. Was it Loyola Chicago? That horrible charge.
Yeah.
Ethan Thompson was like moving his feet and then just fell, and they gave him the call. That was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call a charge. They can call a charge if you're moving your feet. If you take like an elbow, right? I mean, if the offensive player goes in,
some idiot on Twitter wanted to talk about him lowering his shoulder when it was obviously he was obviously just going to the hoop. I mean, I get it. If a guy puts his shoulder into the chest, call a charge. But man, I feel like you're absolutely correct. I feel like the charge call, and Jay Billis, I know, hates the charge block call, but it has gotten to a point where anytime a guy falls down, it's a charge, where they were supposed to implement this flop rule, and that's just, they don't even call them anymore. I mean, you see them every once in a while, and the ones that they do call don't look like flops. So I don't know. Officiating, it is what it is.
I'd rather that they not call anything. On some of those.
Yeah, let them go. Let them play.
Just go. If you're going to have some moron just fall backwards for no reason when he gets bumped, then what's the point of making the call?
I agree.
But they don't know what they're doing, so whatever. It is what it is.
Maybe we can become officials and show them.
Exactly. So Baylor and Houston will play in the first game on Saturday. I think that's at like 5 Central or 4 Central or something. I don't know. The times are weird.
4:37 or something. Yeah, something weird.
So Baylor's a 5-point favorite in that. It's at 4:14 Central. So, I mean, it's going to be close. 5 points is fair, I guess. Baylor does come in as a better team, obviously, playing in the Big 12 and dominating for a lot of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think Houston has a shot, but I don't know. I said that about USC, and USC got embarrassed. So, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I just hope they're good games, because hopefully this is a good game, because I think the Gonzaga UCLA game is just going to be a slaughter.
This will be a good game. I don't see either one of these teams getting blown out.
Right.
So I think there's a good chance that this will be the better game. Then everyone will fall asleep for the Gonzaga game.
True.
Let's talk about Gonzaga USC, which I had at like 7 points. It was like a million. What was the final score? I don't even know. It wasn't good.
85-66.
That's about right. I mean, it was more than that, if we're being honest. There was a couple buckets down the stretch for USC. It probably should have been 20 plus.
Yeah, Gonzaga got in their guys at the end of the bench. So
if you think about this, I mean, we had some thoughts about USC's length in their zone and what they could do defensively, and all Drew Timme did was go out there and destroy Evan.
Shoot it up. He said.
I mean, that wasn't close.
But that's how you beat a zone with a guy like Timme. I mean, that can work the middle, and he's a good passer. He did force up a few shots, I thought, but I mean,
he was feeling it though. He had like 11 points in 7
unreal,
minutes.
and
that's what we call cool in the business. I mean,
I guess that's what we call it.
And you're telling me Cody Riley has any chance against Drew Timme? I mean, there's no way.
No.
Timme might have 30 points if he wants to.
Yeah. Riley might be fouled out in the first 12 minutes. So.
And finally, this is a game where Kissberg was starting to make some shots. I mean, he was inefficient. Like, he was like 6 for 18, but he had 3 threes.
His shot is so flat.
He's never open. Like, they try to take – the teams try to take him away. What's the point in trying to – if you're going to play Gonzaga, I think we've learned that you shouldn't try to take one guy away. Because if you do that, then Suggs and Nimhard and Ai and Timmy are going to eat you alive.
Yeah, and Suggs was really good this game. I mean – 18 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
That's like a 6'2" guard, by the way. So
Right.
Yeah. I just USC just looks flustered. It makes me wonder if Gonzaga beats UCLA by 40. I mean, I know it's the tournament, and I know UCLA's been good defensively, I guess. I mean, Michigan's offense was embarrassing last night, but I just don't see any way Gonzaga loses in this tournament. I think they're going to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
they should. I mean, they're going to have the most off night they've ever had. I think
they had an off night against they weren't even that good against Creighton and beat them.
Well, I mean, you look at people talk about, or people on Twitter talk about this game, and it was like one of Gonzaga's worst shooting games, and they still won by 19.
They have not shot the ball very well overall in the tournament, and they've won every single game still by double digits.
Yeah.
They beat Norfolk State by like 43.
But their worst shooting game is also shooting 50% from the field. So,
I mean, Creighton, they shot like 40% from or it was like, well, I guess Creighton, it was like 30-something% from 3, but they always saved themselves with the 2 because they were like 70% from 2 because Timmy makes everything.
Yeah, that's what, because they were only 33% from 3 in this game. So
they saved their field goal percentage with the 2.
7 of 21. Corey Kispert, 3 of 10. Chuck him up, young man.
I mean, he's never open. You never know. You got to get in transition for him to get the good looks.
You got to appreciate his willingness to shoot the ball, though.
And his line drive release.
And I think the thing that, like I said, like USC was out of the gate just lost. And a big part of that was Gonzaga's defense, which nobody talks about.
I thought it was going to turn out to be like 2015. You probably don't remember this game. 2015 CBS Sports Classic. It was like December. It was that Kentucky team that went 38-1. And they were playing UCLA. This is a UCLA team that had like Steve Alford's team, obviously, had his kid on there. I don't know who else was on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky was up 24-0 right away and won the game by like 50. I thought this was going to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Like UCLA started out 0 for 16 from the field in that game, which doesn't even seem possible.
Yeah.
Of course, that Kentucky team, you think about it, their starting lineup was 6'6", 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot. Actually, I think it was 6'6", 6'6", 6'9", 6'11", 6'10", 7. That was that lineup. So can't go into the paint. But Gonzaga would – I still think Gonzaga would beat – I would put Gonzaga up against any team over the last 10 years. Any team, they would beat them.
I think so, yeah.
09 UNC, too. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone's like, Gonzaga is the best team since 2009 North Carolina. They're better than 2009 North Carolina.
Get that out of here.
Think about this. The 1976 Indiana team never made a three-pointer that season. There definitely was a three-point line, but there wasn't. But I'm just going to say there was. So, yeah. Didn't make a three. Was there a line? No, but yes. So,
They didn't need one.
Gonzaga would kill that team. Yeah, Gonzaga would kill that team. But, that Indiana program is still overrated because of some of those teams. So There you go. What a great job it is. You got Mike Woodson. Congrats. You got a combined age of 143 between your top assistant and head coach. Good luck. So now Michigan UCLA, which was an ugly game. Not a lot of points.
Speaking of overrated, the Big Ten.
Yes, it is. And I don't know what the hell happened to the Big Ten, but I think it was a matchups thing for some teams, and I think it was just not playing well for some teams.
Yeah.
And inability to close, like Michigan State against UCLA, and now UCLA's in the Final Four. So I don't know. This is one of the best coaching jobs in the last decade, I think, Mick Cronin. Think about this. They lost who was supposed to be their best recruit, Dacian Nix, was a 5-star, went to the G League. He committed to UCLA, then went to the G League. And they lost Chris Smith to an ACL in December. He was their best player. He's gone. Now they're in the Final Four.
Yeah, and they lost four of their last four regular season games, or their last four games.
4-game losing streak going into the NCAA tournament, I think, because you got to count when they lost to Oregon State when they're up 32-16 in that game.
How high is Bill Walton right now?
Someone should probably check on him, I think.
I did see somebody tweeted some guy that's verified on Twitter and said, have you texted Bill Walton? He said, yes, haven't heard anything back, but nothing's new. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like this was my redemption for Oregon.
Yeah.
I said there was going to be a Pac-12 team in the Final Four, and I said UCLA.
Do you think Johnny Juzang listened to our podcast where we ranked him number 8 out of the players, and he said, "Put some respect on my name"?
And then he had 28. I mean, yeah, he probably did. And I
mean, when you only got to score 51 to win a game, but Juzang had 28 of them. Pretty impressive.
I mean, I feel like UCLA was meant to win this game. Like, how many layups did Michigan miss down the stretch?
Oh, they missed what, their last 6 shots?
And they had 3 really good looks for 3 to win.
I mean, Franz Wagner, great ball player. Man, he struggled, didn't he?
How did he airball that? That was
1 of 8.
Also, I know Michigan fans are like going after him and like, calling him everything in the book.
That's Michigan fans for you.
That's pretty much basketball fans. But,
True. But yeah, the one he airballed though, I mean, Brooks caught it. If he would have just gathered himself, he had time, but he tried chucking it back up.
That was weird. I mean, that was kind of messy. I don't know how Wagner was closer on like the turnaround 3 with 0.5 left than the wide open one.
Why is Juwan going for the dub? Why is he not trying to tie the game?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand it.
I understand what Tiger Campbell was doing defensively, but he did not stay close enough to Mike Smith.
They weren't even anywhere around him.
They probably expected him to go in for the lay-in.
To let them get the ball in at basically what you would call the volleyball line on a normal court, to get it in that far, 30 feet, with nobody on him, and then to just get a wide open 3. I mean, UCLA probably should have lost that game with how many looks they gave.
Yeah, I mean, they did get kind of lucky.
Because as much as Wagner wasn't good, he was wide open for that 3 that he took that he airballed. I mean, wide open.
Yeah.
So, shout out to UCLA. I think you said UCLA would hold them under 60. You didn't say 50, but I think you said 60.
Close enough. Just genius. But I'll tell you this. I don't know why Dickinson was the one inbounding that at the end.
No.
Throw it up to him. He's taller than everybody.
People say, oh, well, he's tall. They wouldn't be able to get the ball in. They weren't guarding the inbounder. I don't know what that even means.
I feel like it's typical of Big Ten coaches to play hero ball now at the end of games.
Yeah.
Like we've seen Illinois do that. We've seen Ohio State do that. We've seen Michigan State do that. Where you just ISO a guy one-on-one or just throw up a 3 when you don't need one.
And I don't know if it was UCLA's defense or what, but Michigan was not the Michigan team that you're used to that passes the ball and gets open looks. They were forcing it to Dickinson a lot, it seemed like. And you have off nights, and it's never great to have an off night when you're trying to get stamp your ticket to the Final Four. So
their perimeter shooting is really hurting without Livers.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
And Mike Smith is only good on those.
If they have Livers,
they win that.
They
game.
Probably win. Livers, they probably win going away actually. But you actually have a guy that can shoot a 3, take the 3. Not saying that Wagner and Smith can't shoot the 3, but
another thing that
they definitely
noticed,
can't do it as well as Livers does.
In the last 5 minutes, why wouldn't they try to get more looks for Shandy Brown? He was actually making shots. True. He didn't get any looks down the stretch.
True.
That didn't make any sense to me. And here's the thing. Mike Smith can only make those 3s when he's stepping back. Yep. That's when he makes 3s. If he's pulling up, it's probably not going to go in, even though that shot looked good and it was right there and just missed.
Yeah.
And Wagner, I don't know what happened to him with those shots. Eli Brooks is an okay shooter, but I feel like he's much better in the corners. Shawnee Brown figured out how to shoot, and then they decided not to use him. So
True.
Dickinson couldn't make a
No
free
faith.
throw. They missed 1,000 layups. This was like a meant to be type thing for UCLA, I think.
Yeah.
And Juzang made everything. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to give some props to Riley because Dickinson was like 50% from the field, which is not good for him. So even
especially
though
when he's bigger
and who was the other guy? Nwuba?
Nwuba, something like that.
He actually played more than Riley. So what I can't understand, why did Mac Etienne go there when they got that guy? What's he going to do?
Aren't those guys like seniors?
And Nwuba is a sophomore.
Okay.
So good luck.
But he doesn't play that much usually, I don't think.
Good luck, little Mac. That's what I'm going to start calling him.
And Nwuba's hardly played this season.
He like I said, 21 minutes was the most he's played all year.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Etienne's normally in the rotation over in Nwuba.
Yeah. Not when you're going against Hunter Dickinson because Mac Etienne looked like a junior high basketball player.
He's got to put some pounds on. He's only 235 pounds at 6'9".
Anyways, enough hating on the guy that didn't go to Illinois.
Yeah, I don't really
My
care
bad.
if he went
Sorry
either
about
way,
that.
but
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I just think Juwan, did he get out coached? I mean, I don't even know if we can say that they were so bad offensively. I don't really know what he was supposed to do.
I don't know if that's coaching or just that's what happens,
I mean, we got to give a shout out, though, a little more of a shout out to Johnny Juzang. Like dropping 28 points in the Elite Eight against the number 4 defense in the country to get to the Final Four is no joke, especially when his team only had 51.
Yeah, he was unreal. I mean,
he should have stayed at Kentucky though. So that's all.
Yeah, I mean, if you say at Kentucky, he didn't make the tournament this year. So.
Well, I spoke with a Kentucky fan a few days ago, and they said who when I said Johnny Juzang.
Exactly.
So they don't know who he is, even though I remembered him. But speaking of which, of Kentucky, real quick before we talk about some other things, Kentucky would have won the tournament last year, by the way. So everybody's lucky they didn't have one because Kentucky was going to win that easily. Yeah,
I guess you can say that because nobody can argue with it.
Exactly. What are you going to say? That team last year was loaded, and they're going to be good next year. But anyway, UCLA to the Final Four. Mick Cronin, who everybody hated the hire. Maybe this is what's going to happen with Mike Woodson. If Mike Woodson can keep Trace Jackson Davis there, maybe they'll actually do something.
Yeah.
If he doesn't keep him there, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't stay, but that's just me, unbiased. So which one of these matchups is better? Without saying Baylor, Houston. Oh, you think Gonzaga, UCLA? Really? Okay. Wow.
I mean,
interesting.
What do they have the spread for the
14?
Oh, geez.
It's pretty low. It was 8.5 last night.
Yeah, but you can't make a Final Four game 20.
I'd say it's like 17 would be fair. That's around what it was against Oklahoma, right?
Has there ever been a double-digit Final
That has to
Four?
be, right? Like VCU that year?
Yeah.
Who did VCU play in that Final Four?
I don't remember, dude. That was a long time ago.
It was like 2011.
That was 10 years ago. I have a hard time remembering who plays for Illinois, so.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Hang on. So that was the year that UConn beat Butler. I completely forgot that Butler ever made it to a national championship game.
I think I was in Vegas during that. UConn Butler. I think I bet on Butler and they lost.
VCU lost to Butler by 8. Now let me see if I can find a spread. VCU versus Butler, 2011 Final Four spread. Three points. That's it. Wow.
Yeah, because
there's no way it's ever been 14.
Yeah, 14's insane.
And well, this is a different situation. Cover. Probably. This is an 11 seed.
What do you think? What do you think they'll win by? Honestly,
16. I think they'll be up 25, and it'll get a little closer. I don't want to be too disrespectful to UCLA because watch UCLA win this game. I mean, come on. It could happen 0.000000001% chance that they win. But, Gonzaga is a team that couldn't hold their own in the Big Ten, so you never know about them, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, if they win a championship, I'm going to post so many things about that on every internet platform.
The first game I watched UCLA was against USC, I believe, and they almost beat them. They didn't. So I don't see how they had a shot. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't think they do. This Final Four is not great, but I think it'll all be worth it if Gonzaga and Baylor win. Even though at this point, does Baylor even have a chance against Gonzaga? Probably not.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody. I mean, obviously, this Gonzaga team is one of the best teams we've ever seen. So
they're like a machine. I mean, they do everything.
Somebody should check that if Mark Few's a robot.
And he probably cheats when he recruits. Whoa, too far. All right, whoa.
Yeah, it's real hard to say, hey, why don't you come to this private school and win national championships, probably.
In Butt F, Washington.
Yeah.
Nobody even cares about us because we're in the West Coast Conference and only the diehards watch us.
Exactly.
Only took about 26 minutes for the light to flicker on this time. How about that?
Oh, man.
So there are 1,069 transfers right now.
Wow. Hit the 1,000 mark.
Oh, it's going to hit 2,000 probably. Season's not even over yet. Someone from UCLA will transfer, I'm sure. I bet Nwuba transfers. Mark it down. He's going to transfer. He's going to be like, wow, this skinny dude's going to be playing over me next year. So, jeez.
Looks lost on the basketball court.
And Drew Timme will transfer to Illinois after this year, too.
Yeah. I don't know if I can handle the mustache robes.
He is one of the all-time great players ever. So he celebrates everything, which I like because he doesn't look like an idiot while doing it like some people.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess it's easier when you're up 20.
He was doing it when they were up like 7.
Speaking of the Michigan game, was that the worst first half of basketball you've ever seen?
No.
Okay.
It was close.
All right.
I mean, Juzang helped it.
That's what my buddy said. And then I said, do you guys not remember the Loyola Oregon State game?
Yeah, that game was like 9-8 with like 8 minutes left.
Yeah. But
I mean, all the games started out like kind of similar except for that game. Like the first 3 games were all the better team, Houston, Baylor, and Gonzaga were way ahead early. And then this game was like Michigan can't do anything. It was 28-23 at the half, UCLA? Yeah, I mean, Juzang had 18 in the first half, I think.
I mean, the fact that Arkansas was down 18 and still had a chance to win that game makes me a little worried about Baylor. But when Arkansas gets going, they get running, they can be really good. So
I just don't think Houston only has a couple guys that you can really trust in shooting threes. Like Quentin Grimes had a lot of good looks in this tournament. He's been so up and down shooting it.
Yeah, he was 4 of 10 in the game.
So. I just I don't know. This light is flickering.
Sasser was 5 of 13. They were chucking them.
They shoot a lot of threes. How many offensive rebounds do they have? 18?
19.
How many does Oregon State have?
Offensive?
Yep.
7. Reboundings were 29 to 41.
That's embarrassing because
They almost had more. They had 19 offensive rebounds and 22 defensive rebounds.
I mean, Oregon State has bodies too. You wouldn't think they'd get dominated on the boards like that.
Yeah, they're long.
But Mark Vital is going to play a big role in this game if he can rebound and get his game.
And you know what's amazing about Gonzaga is USC's length didn't phase them at all.
No.
Like USC, they were talking about is the second longest, tallest team in college basketball.
I'm trying to remember who's first.
It was somebody that just played. Who just got knocked out? Give me a second. Was it Arkansas? Wasn't Arkansas? No.
Villanova?
No, it wasn't Villanova.
When they
Alabama,
get Alabama, okay.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know how they do. I can actually find out now if it's Ken Palm related. I mean, I know that CBS has been using all these Ken Palm stats without saying Ken Palm.
No,
So-
I'm wrong. It was Florida State. Sorry,
Okay, yeah, that's
Florida
State.
State. That's a guarantee. So,
Well, that's not really, their average height is number one. So
who's?
you want to find out Florida State, and then
Oh.
USC,
I believe
and then
USC was number 2. Yeah.
North Carolina 7th, Purdue 17th, Oregon State 22nd, Kansas, Georgia.
Why are you naming random teams?
Gonzaga 29th.
Okay.
UCLA 115th. That's the gap. So Gonzaga's 29th, and the next tournament team is 115. Houston 141. Illinois 159, by the way, shout out. And Baylor 216. So
15.
Gonzaga is better in every department, I guess.
Yeah.
Is Gonzaga first in offensive efficiency now? They got to be, right? Yeah, okay.
I would think.
First in offense, fifth in defense, sixth in tempo, third in average possession length,
So,
first in 2-point percentage by a lot.
are you just going to call it now? Gonzaga back-to-back national champions?
Yes.
Okay.
They're
Write
not
it
gonna
down.
win next year.
March 31st, 2021.
Yeah, they're not going to win next year, but
Okay.
they'll win this year. They got to get
All right.
one out of the way first.
That's true.
I do think they'll go undefeated in the West Coast again next year.
Yeah. You don't think that San Francisco is going to beat them? San Diego?
San Francisco beat Virginia this year. San Diego's atrocious. The last time they lost was
all those solid
BYU.
teams. Just wait till they come to the Big Ten and they run the Big Ten out of the water.
I think that Gonzaga should go to the SEC. Because geographical location makes no sense anymore, right?
True.
Like, how is West Virginia the Big 12?
Ouch. Sorry, I smacked my mic.
How's Rutgers in the Big 10?
I don't know. Why is it? What do you mean? Penn State, Rutgers,
Maryland?
Maryland?
Yeah, we need to
Penn
go back
State's
to.
been in it forever.
We need to have the Big East with all those teams: Syracuse, West Virginia, Rutgers. All go back to the Big East. Have a reunion of the Big
Bring
East.
back the real Big East. The ACC is just way too big.
Like the Big 12 has 10 teams, and the Big 10 has 14. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Put Nebraska in the Big 12 and somebody else, Northwestern, get them out. Who the hell? Northwestern should be in like the
I was going to
SWAC.
say Indiana, but
Northwestern is atrocious. What a
That's
joke
true.
they are.
they should be in the MVC.
That's a little much. The MVC is way too good for them. So let's think about this now.
All right.
Who are the 4 best players left in this tournament, and why are they all from Gonzaga?
So Heather asked me last night. I think it was last night. She's like, "So Gonzaga is really that good?" I said, "Yeah, they got 4 of the best players in the country." So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to put Juzang in there because I'm not disrespecting him. My wife also thinks his name is Juice Egg. So she's like,
It's close enough.
"Why do they keep saying Juice Egg? Like, how come his name's spelled different?" I said, "That's not what they're saying. You gotta listen." So
It's the voices, I don't even know who's calling that game.
it's hard to hear.
Who was calling that game?
I don't know, but he was a big fan of Juice Egg.
Come on. I lost it. Oh, wait, no. Was it Kevin Harlan?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't even
I
remember.
don't have any idea.
Yeah, I don't know. The 4 best players are obviously Drew Timme, Jalen Suggs, Corey Kispert, and Davion Mitchell. So there you go. If you want to add 4 more, you probably add Andrew Nimhard or a Joel Ayayi, really either one. Quentin Grimes, Jared Butler, Macy, Johnny Jusek. I mean, any of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't say anybody from Houston.
I said Quentin Grimes of the second.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everyone else in Houston, like, come on. No. DeJohn Jarreau's a good player, but I'm good on that. And if you want to add Mark Few to the list of players, you could do that too.
True. Because he's a robot.
He is, yeah. And like Anton Watson came off the bench last night. He had to have like 3 steals. I mean, he was knocking everything out of the way. And every time, like 25% of the time you reach, you call for a foul, even if you just touch the ball. So these officials don't know what they're doing. I mean, let's be honest.
It's just so inconsistent, but that's officiating. I mean, I guess, you don't want robots, out there officiating games. So
I feel like Bo Borowski's the king of like.
Speaking of
failing teams,
how's that ref doing? That was a scary situation.
I think they said he wasn't going to the hospital. Then they said he was going to the hospital.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, hopefully he's good.
I think he said that it was dehydration, but he doesn't know, so they got to do testing and stuff. But
it makes sense. It looked like he passed out.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have drank so much the night before.
That's too far.
True.
So Gonzaga has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that play basically, and one of them is that transfer from Southern Illinois, who was like 3 for 3 from 3 last night. So you don't have to have a big rotation to win in the tournament, because Abilene Christian had like a 30-man rotation, and they did win a game in the tournament, which is cool. But
true.
So let's think about matchups here for UCLA Gonzaga and like who's going to match up against who. So I think Suggs is going to be able to take Suggs or Nimhard will be able to take away.
Isn't this what the next show's for?
Tiger Campbell. Yeah, but we're not going to make predictions in this game, and the next show is going to feature guests. So probably guests. So we'll talk about it with them. So it's just a different deal.
All right.
We got about 3 minutes left of the show here.
Okay. Sounds good. I got to go to work sometime.
So Suggs can take away Campbell. You could have Ayayi or Nimhard take away Juzang. Either one. And then the one that doesn't guard Juzang guards Bernard. Mm-hmm. Kissberg will take away Hawkes, and then Timmy will eat Riley alive because he's bigger.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be fair.
It's not going to be fun to watch either. What game is this game first, or is the other game
second?
First?
This is the second game, which is unfortunate, but whatever.
It means I can go to bed early on Saturday.
Yes. People don't understand how good Gonzaga is defensively. Like, they look at their offense, but their defense is extremely good.
I was very impressed by their defense yesterday.
And the guys that come off the bench can defend too. And this light won't stop flickering for some reason. So, it just it's not a great matchup for UCLA, I would say. I mean, they could match up against any of these 3 teams and they wouldn't win. So,
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, we'll get more of a read on it. Give it a couple days here. By Friday, we'll know really exactly what's going on. We'll probably nail the score and make $1 million or something, probably somehow. But
true.
You know how it is. So I guess that'll be that for this and that and such.
And such, yes. We'll be back Friday, right?
Yeah, I mean
Friday night-ish.
Yeah, I think that you got to look at it this way. That I don't know what I was gonna say, but there you go. You got any final comments?
Nope. Hey, I'm just glad we got to the Final Four. We're gonna crown Gonzaga national champions. It's been a long year, so it's nice to have this back.
And next year, we should go to New Orleans for the Final Four. I hear that Jeff Goodman's going to be buying everybody drinks.
Talk me into it.
I wouldn't do it, but
I know you don't like being around people.
If Illinois is there, then that would be fun. But
yeah,
they won't be because they're an embarrassing program at this point. So.
Oh boy!
All right, we'll make our predictions and such. It's definitely not going to be Gonzaga and Baylor who's picked. So that's how that is. This is a perfect outro, and that'll be that. And